I was inquiring about the distinction between picking up on vibration, like if I go into someone's home and I get a thought or a feeling, I want to bring more and more clarity, take it to the next step of understanding the distinction between picking up on vibration and then creating it, vibration.
The thing that's important to understand is that the word convergence is a good word to apply here, because you can't pick up on a vibration that you're not already offering. The signals are matching or converging. So, but it's possible that you have a vibration going on that you're not consciously aware of. And then law of attraction matches you up with something, and then you become aware of it. That's why so often you blame others for the way you feel. But they couldn't come to you, or that part of them could not come to you if there were not something active. Now, that's something else that we want to clarify. There's a difference between a vibration that you have offered at one time but is not active now, and a vibration that you are offering now. An active vibration is what is coming. So you could have an active vibration that's upstream, work on it for a few seconds, turn it downstream, and now your point of attraction has shifted dramatically. So it's nice to appreciate everything that comes to you as a reflection of what you're offering. You get constant feedback. What I think, therefore I feel, and what comes to me always match, always. Jerry and Esther have noticed, we know you all have, that something will happen with them relative to someone, usually someone they're working with in some capacity, and the experience itself activates something that's within them. Now, the question that you're asking is, did that experience cause them to start offering that vibration? Or were they offering that vibration and so they attracted that experience? And we say, it's always convergence. But once the convergence happens and the interplay begins, then it becomes stronger, because once you start having conversations, once you start speculating, once you start observing, the active vibration stays active longer and becomes stronger in its pulling power. But then they notice they're not just having it with this person, showing up with that one and with that one and with that one. And it makes them realize that almost everybody they know has the potential or the capacity to be delightful or horrible, them included. In other words, everybody is a sort of broad range of possibilities. And so if you start running into a whole lot of ornery people, you sort of got to face the fact you're kind of ornery. And so Jerry, when he first began interacting with us years ago, said, well, I think I have the perfect plan for those people that are running renegade in our environment. We should put them on islands. So the rapers are all off on that island doing it to each other, and the robbers are off on that island doing it to each other, and the thieves and renegades, whatever capacity, they're all off doing it to each other. Seemed like perfect justice. And we said, those islands exist already. They're vibrational islands. And the group didn't like hearing that. They said, doesn't seem right that the raper would end up on the same island with the raped. That doesn't seem right. One seems like the perpetrator and one seems like the victim. How do they end up on the same island? And we say, same vibration. If you're not afraid of the bear is not interested in chasing you. Don't take it personal. In other words, you have to have a vibration of vulnerability before someone disconnected from source who also has a vibration of vulnerability. There is no aggressive bully that does not have a vibration of vulnerability at their base. It's their insecurity that makes them mean. So when you feel insecure, you're a match for a bully, and so on and so on and so on. So whatever happened, bless it, because, oh boy, it woke me up and made me aware of what I got going on. And if it was a big experience, then it caused you to launch a big rocket. And now your work's always the same. Turn and try to line up with this new you that has erupted out of this experience. Excellent.
Great. Thank you.
More stuff.
I'm vibrating right now. I want to start out by saying what you just said really resonated with me. When they put me into school in grade 1, I just couldn't, I actually literally ran away from school many times. They thought I was retarded practically up until grade 2. Grade 4, grade 5, I started winning awards in the subjects that I was interested in. Grade 12, I decided not to go to college because I just had this feeling that what I was learning was bogus. And so here I am. I have tried on so many different things. I've played so much. I'm having so much liberty, so much empowerment in my life. I've founded 3 companies, 2 of which have been incredibly successful. I've been an actor. I've been a writer. I have a couple of inventions that I'm trying to patent right now. My problem is I don't know what I want. I have been married for 17 years. I have a wonderful relationship with my wife. And I don't know, do I want to spend time with my wife when I go back to my hotel room? Do I want to work on patent number 1, patent number 2, one of the 2 or 3 books that are sitting up, that are laying fallow? It's, that's the question.
Well, the most important thing that we want to say to you is we don't think it matters what you do that makes you feel good as you float down your stream. We think it only matters that you do something that makes you feel good as you float down your stream. It's like saying, I'm at a restaurant and I'm having a magnificent meal, but there's a restaurant over there I could have eaten at, and there's one over there I could have eaten at, and one over there I could have eaten at, and I'm eating here and I'm frustrated that I'm not eating at all of those places. And we say, no, you're not, you're eating here. The question sort of makes it sound like there's this feeling that you have these things that you're supposed to accomplish. And everything that we've been saying here today has been with the intent of helping you to get it, that the only reason that you have goals is for the excuse of the river ride. The accomplishment of one thing is irrelevant. It is the feeling of expansion that is relevant. It's life that you are about. And you say, yeah, we're living life, but what should we be doing with it? And we say, it's life that you're about. It's the joy of life. And you say, yeah, joy, joy, joy. But what about the growth and the expansion? Aren't I supposed to be becoming something? And we say, yeah, you can't stop but becoming. But it's the process of becoming that life is about. And you say, yeah, I'm living life. But what is it that I'm supposed to be doing with it? And we say, living it and loving it. And you say, yeah, but toward what end? And we say, there is no end to the life that you live. You're eternal beings. Yeah, but what's it all about? Living and loving and having joy. Yeah, but for what? For the joy of life. Yeah, but toward what end? For the living and the loving of life. It's the living and loving of life that you are about, not accomplishing something, because there's never an end to what you're going to want to accomplish. The only reason that life gives you those goals is so that you have a reason to manage your vibration and feel the alignment and come into the alignment, you see. The expansion is inevitable. You are source energy banging around, giving birth to new desires. You can't stop that. Whether you ever know it consciously or not in this physical form, you are contributing massively to the expansion of all that is. That is a given. So your objective must be joy. The basis is utter freedom. You are so free you can attract bondage. The basis is joy, because unless you are reaching for anything else, you're not in alignment. And the alignment brings immediate awareness of expansion, but the expansion is inevitable. So now you get why we talk all day, every day about being the selfish being that you are, who cares about how you feel, because that's it, friends. How I feel right here, right now is life, and it's all there will ever be. Life isn't about what's coming next or what you lived before. All of your power is here and now, and it's all about how you're managing the vibration of you and you. That's life. That's your workshop. That's your playground. That's where you're living. That's life. It's all right here, right now. And the only question is, am I downstream or upstream? And if I'm upstream, how do I get more downstream? That's all there is to it, you see. So whether you get downstream because you're making love to your wife, Whether you're downstream because you're making plans with your wife, whether you're downstream because you're focusing upon a project that's interesting, it doesn't matter. It only matters that you're downstream. And the more downstream you are, the more that's in your vibrational escrow that you've already given birth to, the more of it will show itself to you in endless ways. The more you are banging around and the more you are giving birth to, and then the more you are feeling good, the more the path lights up and lights up and lights up and lights up, and that's what you're reaching for. So the answer to your question is, which one of those do I do? The one that's lighting up the most right here, right now. But what if I choose a project and my wife feels bad? That's her problem. That's her problem, because you don't live to serve her. You live for your alignment. You interact with her for the embellishment of both of your experiences. But if you let the way she is responding to you while you're doing a project make you feel uncomfortable, now you've turned upstream and you're not managing your life in the way you have intended, you see. Enough?
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. You have total control of all of this. Your life is causing your expansion, a life that, by the way, you have chosen. And the details of it you are choosing, and the details of it are causing more expansion. So the stream is flowing ever faster because of the life that you are living and the choices that you are making. And the choices of what you are thinking about here and now are controlling whether you're going with the flow that you got going or whether you're pulling against it. And every moment of every day is about that going with the flow or not, that going with the flow or not, that going with the flow or not. And once you get that, once you understand that, and you say, I'm in charge of how I feel and I like feeling good, and today, no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm doing it with, it is my dominant intent to look for that which feels good. I'm going to reach for the best feeling thought that I can find from where I am. Not the best feeling thought I've ever thought from different places on the stream. Not the best feeling thought that guy or that guy or that guy's thought. The best feeling thought that I can find from where I am, because all of my power is right here and now. The best feeling thought that I can find from where I am. And as that becomes your mantra, your life has already yielded for you expansion and expression and creation that we cannot even find words to describe. There are billions of dollars amassed for your creative use. There are creative ideas to surprise and delight you. There is more money than you will ever be able to spend available to you. There are more things to think about than you will ever have time to think about available to you. There is more pleasure and more purpose available to you than this lifetime will ever begin to yield to you. But this is not your only lifetime. There are more, there are more, there are more, there are more. There is nothing that you're supposed to do here and now. There is nothing that this lifetime was supposed to cause you to do. You were not broken when you got here. You are not reconciling something that went wrong. You are not looking for problems to solve. You are looking for opportunities to expand, and they are endless. And when you allow yourself to go with the flow of the expansion, you feel wonderful. And when you don't, you don't. It is as simple as that. There is not something that you are supposed to do. Only that which you want to do. There is not something that you need to do, only that which you like to do. There is not something that the world needs you to do, and even if it does appear to be in need, you can't fix it. Your work is to align with your expanded version and to shine that example of accomplishing alignment with who you are. And in that alignment, as you tend to that first, all of the details that you've been picking up along the nitty-gritty of your trail will come full circle into your experience. And you'll say, I knew you were coming because I've been looking for you for a long time, but I couldn't say your name and I didn't know where to find you. My life told me that I wanted you and I didn't know where to look. And once I turned to what I wanted and why I wanted it, you came and sat before me and told me your story, and I knew you were the one that I had been looking for. And there is another like you and you and you and you and you relative to every subject in your life for every one of you. There is nothing that needs to be left undone for a very long time. The universe is yielding to you. There are 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 answers to every question lined up so close that if you would chill a little bit, they would show themselves to you, you see.